Parshat Pinchas, weekly Torah portion. By the way, it's not called Pinchas; it's really called Pinchas. It's an E because it has a yud, right? So it's Pinchas.
Wait, it's called what?
Pinchas. Pinchas. It's not really Pinchas. Pinchas is the corrupted way of saying it. Bottom line is Pinchas because you have a chirik with a yud, and then the nun. So the nun takes on a shvana. So it's really Pinchas.
Interesting.
Nobody says like that, but it's
that's
really
where
Pinchas.
they get Phineas from then.
Probably.
Probably. That's that question.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Vayedaber, it says, Vayedaber Hashem Moshe lemor. Hashem spoke to Moshe saying, Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen. Pinchas, the son of Elazar, the son of Aaron HaKohen, and Hishivech Hamati, has turned back my wrath, El ben Israel, from on behalf of Ben Israel. Bekano et kinati, in his jealousy for my jealousy, and he says, when he zealously avenged my vengeance, betocham, in their midst, velo chiliti ben Israel bekinati, and I did not destroy Ben Israel in my vengeance or in my jealousy. Kaneh could mean vengeance or jealousy. Now, this is based upon last week's parsha. Remember, we ended off last week's parsha with the story of Pinchas, where he saw Zimri and the woman is Kazvi Batzor engaged in relations, and so what happens is he kills both of them by shooting a spear, and it pierces them in the act of copulation. And otherwise, by the way, if they would have separated, he would not have been able to do anything. He does not get permission from the Beit Din. He just knows the halacha, and he carries out the halacha. That is the law of being a zealot. We don't advise zealotry, by the way. This is not an advised thing to do. It's only somebody who is of great holiness who can do this. I'm not being sarcastic about this. Okay? And again, if Zimri would have separated from Cosby and he would have killed him afterwards, then he would have been guilty of murder, outright murder. Yeah. Okay? So that's why when it comes to zealotry, one has to be very, very careful. But the court could not say yes to this because they weren't witnesses and they weren't warned and they didn't go through trial. So a whole bunch of things that never happened. So when he did what he did, it was only miraculous because think about it. He's throwing a spear. It has to go through the tent entrance. It has to pierce them while they're in the midst of the population. I mean, that's pretty good aim.
I thought that he followed them into the tent.
No, he didn't follow. It says that, let's look at it quickly. He stood up from amidst the assembly, took a spear in his hand. He followed the Israel, into the tent and pierced them both. But what he really means is that he threw the spear. That's what we're saying. He didn't get him like that. So it's.
But he went to the tent before he threw it. This was it.
It says he followed him to the tent, which could have been by his eyes, maybe whatever the case is going to be. But the point is, he gets them in the midst of the action.
Yeah. He impales both of them.
Right.
That's
And through their sexual organs.
Oh.
He gets them right.
How is that morally wounding?
What?
How did that kill them?
You have a spear going through you, going like that. You're not going to live.
I'm just thinking, I guess vital.
I'm not sure what the.
I don't know.
You're asking a medical question I can't answer.
Right.
You're bleeding like crazy though.
Yeah.
So what are you going to ask? I'm sorry.
So in post-temple days, this could not be done at all, could it? Under any circumstances.
No, we don't. Again, the Sanhedrin would not be able to give, never could give authority for that. And so now, if you're going to get involved in the zealotry, you better be of good lineage and so on and so forth. But you really have to prove yourself. And again, if they would have separated,
but now, nobody could.
Nobody would do it today. And by the way, the people who tried to get away with it, the guy who murdered Yitzchak Rabin, he probably would have claimed that he was doing it l'shem shamayim, and it may very well be true in his mind, but it's not what the guy wasn't chayav misa. The guy wasn't obligated to die, and certainly not by the court. It's not for what he was doing, and so the world justly condemned the Orthodox world. Justly condemned him. The rest of the world condemned him because he was a nut in their minds. But even the Orthodox world, knowing halacha, said, no, this is not proper. This is not proper. You can't do this. You cannot take the law into your own hands like this. But Pinchas was a very special case. And again, if you look in the Midrash, it tells you he doesn't bring it down. No, I don't see it anyway. But he doesn't bring down the tremendous miracles that were taking place with all the stuff that happened with him. It's just an amazing thing. Maybe you'll bring it up here, I forget. But, okay, so the first question Rashi asks is, why did the Torah have to say Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron a Kohen? First of all, we already know who he is. Unless you have a bad memory, we already said Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron a Kohen 2 psukim ago. So, remember, if I'm reading the Torah, and I'm just reading the Torah, so I'm not splitting up by Balak and Pinchas, it's 2 lines ago. Yeah. So what happened? What's going on here? So Rashi explains, since the tribes were denigrating him, saying, see this guy who is the son of Poti, who was the one who would fatten fatten cows for Avodah Zarah, in other words, Yitro. Going back to Yitro. Vaharag Nasi Shevet Yisrael, and here he had the chutzpah to kill one of the princes of the tribes of Israel. So that's what they were saying. They were trying to mavaza him, to have showed disdain for him. So therefore, lefichach ba'katuv, that's why the verse comes, vayachasu achar Aaron. And it gives him the lineage after Aaron, to say that just as Aaron did L'Shem Shemaim, so also he's doing L'Shem Shemaim, yeah?
So is Pinchas the son of Aaron or son of Moshe?
He's a grandson of Aharon.
But Aaron married into Yitro's family? Like Moshe did?
No.
So then how can they say that?
Elazar did.
Okay.
Aaron, remember, Aaron's a grandfather.
Yeah. Right, I know, but...
So Aaron, apparently, what?
But I know Aaron and Moshe married Yishua's daughter.
Right.
And they said that he was son of a woman, or what's the name?
Poti,
which I'm pretty sure was Moshe's wife.
No.
No.
She's Shifra.
Oh, okay. Who's Poti? Is that Ella?
Potiel, which is this is another one. That would be another name for Yitro. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they want to say. Also, so that's number one. They're tracing him back because he wants to say that, and here he says it here too. Ben Aaron a Kohen. So he says, if you look at number 11, that it says, son of the Aaron the Kohen, Pinchas, had put an end to the devastating plague that had taken 24,000 lives in retribution for the orgy of immorality with the Moabite and the Midianite women. Instead of applauding him, however, the people accused him of wanton murder and protested that the grandson of someone who had fattened calves to be sacrificed for idols had the gall to kill a prince in Israel. Pinchas' father was married to a daughter of Yitro, a former Midianite priest, who was called Petuel. Okay, in response, Hashem declared that far from murder, Pinchas had committed an act that saved countless lives. Indeed, God called him a descendant of Aaron, who was distinguished for his love of mankind and the pursuit of peace. And what was more, Hashem rewarded him by appointing him a Kohen, who denoted a covenant of peace, not death. So we're seeing that God is coming to, as it were, verify that Pinchas acted accordingly. He acted correctly in this case. And that the people who were trying to denigrate him were wrong. Okay, but Putia, so now you know that the father married the daughter of Yitro. So Elazar married, what? Yeah, he had 7 daughters.
Yeah.
So Moshe Rabbeinu became his brother-in-law. Right? So he's his uncle and brother-in-law. It wouldn't be the first time. And his aunt becomes his sister-in-law. We have a whole bunch of fun with genealogies there, but that's what's happening.
You ever heard the song "I'm My Own Grandpa"?
Say it again?
You ever heard the song "I'm My Own Grandpa"?
No. I'll leave that. I'll leave that alone.
It's a country song.
Yeah, I never heard it. Okay, so now what happens is again he returned my anger, so and he avenged my vengeance. So Rashi says, "B'nikma etikmati b'kafsa deketz." Okay, it's just explaining. Fine. Next, so Rashi, Archer will bring down by acting on behalf of Hashem. Pinchas had put an end to the plague by which Hashem punished the rampant immorality. Had it not been for him, the plague would have continued. In this context, the word jealousy refers to a display of anger that results in vengeance. Jealousy, quote, is a person's reaction when he finds that another is taking something that is rightfully his. So Hashem is jealous when Jews serve idols because they transfer their allegiance from him to something else. Yeah.
It's 24,000. That happens again. What is it? The students of Rabbi Akiva?
Oh, okay, yeah.
24,000. But it's got to be something. Why that's repeated again with that same number?
Well, 24,000 here is just the amount that were killed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't 24,000. The story of Rabbi Akiva says 12,000 pairs.
Yeah, yeah.
You learn out that it's 24,000,
Yeah.
But
it's that it's a
right.
total number.
Yeah. I'm not sure if there is a.
That's what I'm trying to.
When it comes to these numbers, they're very hard to figure out. Is there, like you have 7, you have 40, you have all these numbers that are constantly coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that
7 we can understand pretty easily.
all of them. 7, 8, 40, 10. You have 10 fingers, 10 emanations, so on and so forth. It's a lot of numbers mean something, but the question is 24,000 related to 12,000 pairs?
Yeah.
That would be the question.
Yeah.
And if you can find somebody who's going to make that connection, or maybe you want to write the book yourself, so you can come up with your own chiddush. But it has to be a good chiddush, but you can do that.
Somebody somewhere must have.
No, I want to know everybody has a chiddush in the Torah, and this could be yours. So I leave it to you to research it, but if you find that nobody's saying it, you can write your book. That's going to be your doctoral thesis or your addition to the Torah. By the way, this is true. Everybody has a chiddush in Torah. So the Torah is never ending. So we always find something. Now, you may very well find that somebody says something, then, say, Baruch Shekavanti. Praise the one that I am, that I had kavanah for that. Nonetheless, we all have an opportunity. So now it says, L'chein, Emor, so therefore say, Hineni noten lo epriti shalom. Behold, I am giving to him a covenant of peace. Now, you'll see a star on top of the Vav. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay? And
That was an asterisk.
asterisk, star, whatever you like to say. Now, if you look in the Sefer Torah, and if you look closely, by the way, you'll be able to see that the Vav is split.
Cut in half.
What do you mean split?
Cut in half is split, right, in the middle.
Oh.
You see a little dash there? It looks,
Because
it looks like you're missing ink.
Yeah, it looks like it's just a spot. Yeah.
Right. So this is not a mistake. As a matter of fact, if you
That's
look
where
at,
the Torah is written, you're saying.
if you look in the Torah, you'll see a split in that Vav.
Man,
Interesting.
that'll,
What?
that'll mess over some self-errors.
No, so from no that they have to do it.
And you have to know not to fix it.
Correct. So it's a very cute story that there was a rabbi who was a rabbi who was very knowledgeable, as a matter of fact, but he normally didn't read Torah, and he this wasn't his parsha, but he had to do it. Fine. And so he's reading the parsha, and he sees it was Shabbos. It had to be Shabbos. It was Shabbos. So he sees that the vav is broken. He rolls up the Torah, puts it away. It's only the first aliyah. Takes out another Torah, opens it up. He says, "It's unbelievable." The second Torah, that's puzzle.
Oh,
He
no.
rolled it up again. He went for another Torah, and the third one already, the same exact
One
Torah.
of those shuls with 7 or 8 Torahs. Huh?
Yeah. And he said, then he realized something's wrong here. 3 Torahs with the same exact vav being cut must be something wrong. So he stopped, he read it, And then he called up the sulfur that would take care of the take care of it, and he told him what it was. The sulfur laughed. He said it has to be broken. Okay, it's a vav ketia. It has to be broken. Now you have a lot of potential reasons for why it has to be broken. Interestingly enough, he doesn't say anything. All he says is, "B'chi shalom, my covenant of eternal priesthood will demonstrate my gratitude and goodwill towards Pinchas. The pledge of my covenant should be seen as greeting one sent to a person who is indebted. Alternatively, this covenant of peace is a pledge that Pinchas would be protected from the ire of Zimri's kinsmen and supporters." But he doesn't comment on why the vav is broken. So why would the vav be broken?
There was the asterisk there, though.
No, it's because it goes to the side, and it says vav ketia. So it's telling you that, just like in the first one, it's a small vav. There's an asterisk above the yud, and it says vav zeira. Here it says vav ketia. So the question would be, why did Hashem tell us to cut the vav? Yeah.
Because it was an actual piece, or something like that.
Yeah, close. In other words, it's not something we should be doing.
Right.
Okay, that's why. In other words, it wasn't complete. People had to die in this. So it was only for this generation, so on and so forth. Again, we want to make sure, Hashem has to make sure that people don't just go out and start becoming zealots. You have to be very, very careful when you're a zealot. Again, everything has to be like this.
And I take it that from our tradition going way, way back, that there's no question in anybody's mind that this was a mistake somewhere.
Correct.
Way back.
No, it's supposed to be this is a tradition. It's supposed to be vav ketia. Yeah. Yeah, what do you want to ask? Oh, okay. So, but that's really, so like I said, there's a lot in these first two Pesukim. I'm just flying through it. But there's a lot there. And again, it's while he gets the Brit of Shalom, and the other question, by the way, is, why did he, let's pause it, next pause it. Vaitalo Zaracharav, and it would be his, to him and his seed after him. Brit Kuhuna Talom, a covenant of the Kuhuna forever, of a priesthood forever. Tachad Ashikine Lelakav, in because or in the place of his jealousy or vengeance, or however you want to put that, for God. What does he say? For because he took vengeance for God. Fine. Vayichapir al Bnei Israel, and he atoned for Bnei Israel. So the question is, wait a second. Here you have Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron. I am Pharaoh ben Shlomo HaKohen. I didn't have to kill anybody to get that. So why is it that we have to have Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen? Why is God suddenly saying, and he should have a covenant, eternal covenant of priesthood? We already have the priesthood. He's already part of the priesthood. So what are you talking about, right? That should be the natural question that bounces out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because he killed someone?
No.
Okay.
Look at number 13. Up to that time, only Aaron and his sons had been anointed. Aaron, so Elazar and Itamar and the other two, Nadav and Avihu, had only until that point had Aaron and his sons, but anointed as 13.
I see.
Okay. As Kohanim. And any future offspring born to the family would be Kohanim. Pinchas, who was already living, was not included in the appointment, so that he remained a Levite up to this time. With this appointment, he became a Kohen. Alternatively, this covenant was a promise that Kohanim Gedolim would come from the line of Pinchas. Okay, so there's one of two ways. But the simple way of understanding it, the way that Rashi brings down, is that he was already born. So once he's already born, you can't retroactively jump into that.
He's already born, it wasn't included.
Right. And it would be like, just 1 second, if a person converts, okay? Just because they convert, the children preceding them are not Jewish. They don't have to convert with their parent, okay, or convert on their own to be a part of the conversion. But they don't automatically get it. Okay, so yeah.
It's sort of off subject when it says it also could allude to the fact that the Kohen Gadol would be descended from
Pinchas.
So then in the story of Shmuel, that's
Eli
is Pinchas' descendant. Eli's son is Pinchas. One
Okay.
of his, right? But it says it then switches over because you didn't stop your sons in time.
Right.
It's gonna become a different Levi family or not,
Kohen family.
Kohen family.
Right.
So that lineage of Pinchas dynasty had gone all the way down to Eli.
Are we sure? I forget if he was from Pinchas. He was from Pinchas?
I'm pretty sure. I don't
Okay,
know.
I forget.
What I'm saying here is, if it says like this is what it's alluding to, then it seems that that was the case because by the time the story of Shmuel comes along, that happens with Eli's sons and they switch over. So if the lineage had been, if this is a promise and the lineage had been from Pinchas all the way down, then Eli is descendant of Pinchas, unless it's not the case.
Well, again, I was saying it's never. That's according to Ibn Ezra. So you have to find out why the Ibn Ezra says that. What was in other words, is he denying what Rashi is saying? That would be the question of the Ibn Ezra. Is he denying that? Is he saying that Pinchas was always a Kohen because he was anointed to be a Kohen, along with his fathers and his grandfather? And if that's the case, so then what's the new covenant? Right. But if you go by Rashi, you don't need to go by the Ibn Ezra. Okay. So it'll be the question. And then the question, and again, I forget if Eli was the descendant of Pinchas, or if Eli was the descendant of somebody else, and Pinchas now gets it.
Right.
So I forget how that went. I don't remember anymore. But we'll figure that out because I have to. I'm only in chapter 1, and I've just finished chapter 1 in the Thursday class. That's like chapter 5. So when I get to that next class, I'll try to think about that. But I forget where he was. But if you go back and you look in I think it's like chapter 4, chapter 5. Right. So verify yourself. Right. If you're right, then you have another question, by the way, if you're right, on the Ibn Ezra. Because if it goes from Pinchas to somebody else, so then it was not an everlasting covenant.
Right.
So then you have that question. And so that's a question on the Ibn Ezra, not on the Torah at that point. It's a question of why he's saying it. Okay. So now, by the way, we also get to hear who the names of the victims were. In other words, again, last week, or last Shabbos, when we heard it in Parsha, when we ended up with Parsha Balak, we did not know who Pinchas killed. We had no idea. We just know, again, if you just go back to that story, all it says is that he had followed the Israelite man and pierced them both, the Israelite man and the woman in her stomach, and the plague was halted. So we don't know who they were. Suddenly in this Parsha, we're hearing V'Shem, Ish Yisrael Hamukeh, Shehu Kadmidinit, and the name of the man that was killed, he killed the Midianite, was Zimri ben Salui, who was the Nasi Beit of the Shimoni, who was from the tribe of the head of one of the fathers' house of Shimon, and the Shema Isha Mukav Midianit, and the woman who was smote from the Midianites, that was Kazbi Batzor. She was Kazbi, the daughter of Tzor, who was Rosh Umo Beit Av Binyanhu. He was the head of of his people, from the father of his tribes in Midian. Okay, so he says who was the head of the peoples of the father's house. Fine. So now Rashi explains on this. Shem Ish Yisrael b'makom sheyachas et tzaddik. So Rashi explains in the place that they give a genealogy of a tzaddik, the shvach for the praise, yachas et rasha. Similarly, the same way that they give a praise to the righteous. They also have a genealogy for the wicked for their disgrace. So what we're learning from that is, as Zimri did something wrong, apparently Ben Salu did something wrong also. So we're learning that it wasn't just a freak accident that Zimri did something wrong. Okay, and his father did something wrong too. Oh. His father, just as his father did something wrong, so he did something wrong. Now, what happens is, if the father may have fooled everybody into thinking he's a great tzaddik, but we're learning here, we've learned many times before, is that the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Okay, even though the father may have been able to hide it, the son heard it or saw these actions, so it wasn't foreign to him, and so now he's caught doing it. So now the Torah testifies that he wasn't alone with this act, and really his father was part of that. And the same way as Pinchas, who did something great, was related to Elazar and Pinchas and Aaron, who were also great, lovers of the Jewish people. Yeah.
Right. So on the example of seeing from here that the fruit doesn't fall hard from the tree. In the case of I'm forgetting his name already, but
who?
I'm forgetting his name. I forget which part's in already too, but it's the grandson of Moshe who serves as an idol, as a priest of an idol. So while Moshe was Moshe Rabbeinu, his son may have done something, but even his son doing something wrong, that's falling.
Oh no. So there you never see the genealogy.
Right.
No, that's the difference. You never see the genealogy. In other words, the Torah leaves him. It's the Torah actually never identifies him. We only know through tradition who he was.
Oh.
So, but we don't know that he's Moshe's relative. It's only through tradition that we know that.
I thought he wasn't related to Moshe. I thought Moshe just saved him.
That you're talking about a different person.
Oh.
Moshe's grandson is the one who would be the priest for what's his name? Micha.
Micha, right.
Micha was the
one who Moshe saved, right?
Moshe saved,
right,
correct.
that's
Right. So here, but we don't identify. We don't identify all the way to Moshe with that. Okay, so I mean he was a lone guy. So look, you could have a lone person out there. There's no question. You have a Esav, you have Yishmael, you have these people who weren't the cream of the crop.
Right.
So but they're acting on their own. Esav is never Esav ben Yitzchak.
Right.
Unlike Yaakov.
Right.
Yaakov ben Yitzchak ben Avram.
He does fall from
Right. Sometimes you could say that. But when it comes to using the names,
right.
so the Torah is telling you this, just as this one wasn't good, also his line, his parentage wasn't good.
Right.
That's all it's saying. So then also it was it says the prince of the house of the father of the Shimon, and so Rashi explains the echad vechameshat mechamesha batei avot shevet minyan Shimon, that there were five heads of family to Sheva, to the tribe of Shimon, and that he was one of them. Another way you could look at it is Lahodiah Shvacho Shel Pinchas, was to inform us of the praise of Pinchas. What's the praise? She'af al pi shezeh haya nasi, that even though this guy was a prince, lo mana el atzmo midakanei l'chil Hashem, Pinchas did not stop himself from avenging this profanation of God's name. L'chach hodiacha hakatuv mihu hamoche. So that's why the pasuk comes to explain who he had killed. In other words, it's the fact that he killed and was zealous is one thing, but the fact that he took over a prince, who or however you want, a leader of the Jewish people, it shows that he didn't show favoritism. You're making a chil Hashem, making a profanation of God's name, so then you have to be taken out. Again, all the conditions must be met. Then he says the name of the woman who was hit. Again, this is to show you. Why do we have to hear her name? And the answer is to show you or to inform you of the hatred of the Midianites that they have for the Jews. Midian had nothing to do with us, by the way. Let's understand something. Moab was the one that asked Bilam to come and curse him, right? Because the people were on the borders of Moab. Midian is next town over, next country over. They had nothing to do with Moab. Wait a second. Listen to what I'm saying. They had nothing to do with Moab. As a matter of fact, they hated Moab. Midian was in constant wars with Moab. So why, Rashi's asking, is Cosby, who is the daughter of the Midianite king, coming out and prostituting herself? They hated Moab. Why are they trying to help Moab? And so he says, it's the pasuk is coming to inform us of the tremendous hatred that they had for the Jews, so much so that the daughter of the king prostituted herself in order to cause the Jews to sin. And then he said, what was your question?
I remember learning at Brachos, talking about Midianites and Moabites.
No, Moabites and Ammonites.
That's right. They cannot marry into Jewish. They can't marry. They can convert, but they can't marry.
Right. They can't convert.
They can't convert.
No, we don't allow them to. Well, I guess we don't really stop. You're right. So they can't marry into us. They can never marry into us. Right.
Like the Egyptians, they can convert, but can only marry to the third generation. After the third generation. Right. But the Ammonites and the Moabites can't marry at all. So I learned about that. The question came up was we understand the Moabites because they sent out their daughters, but the
Moabites because they hired Bilam.
Right, that's right. They hired Bilam.
Right.
And the Midianites weren't included in that because I guess they are, but they weren't stated in the thing that we were learning. But they also are included in that because they sent their daughters. But the Ammonites are also Ammon people Ammon are included in that. But the only thing they did was turn us away.
So what are you asking?
Why are they included? Why are they?
Is he all the reasons that Edom didn't give us anything and they attacked us. Moab tried to curse us.
Right.
And then Midian. No, it doesn't mention Midian or anything. Mitzrayim, we sojourned in their land for so long, so that's why we're sort of like Edom. So we can marry into them because Edom is king, and Mitzrayim, we sojourned in the land for so long. But then Ammon just turned us away. They didn't attack us. They didn't cast spells on us.
So you'd have to, you know what parsha it is? I mean, the main thing is to know which parsha it is. Then we can go to fast reference that and we can read it and see what's going on. I forget the Gemara. So I can't comment on the Gemara. I don't remember. Okay. I know what you're saying. I know it's the pasuk in Torah. So the question would be, what did Ammon do besides turning away? What was really the sin behind it? Right. Because if that's the only sin, that's crazy. That would be interesting.
I thought it was like Israel is related to the Moabites, related to the Edomites because of Israel and Esau. So maybe Ammon is also related to the Moabites.
No, they're brothers. They're brothers. They're brothers.
Just like we have a relationship with the Edomites.
Right, they're brothers.
That might have been it.
Right.
So, but I don't know.
So I forget why they're not. Forget. Yeah. But that's what it is. So yeah, let's get back to this because I can't, like I said, it's very hard to comment on what I don't remember. So it's I mean I can always comment, but I'd probably be wrong. So it says the house of the father, and there were, like I said, there were 5 houses, 5 heads of the houses in Midian. She had Ephah, Efer, Chanoch, Avida, Ve'eldaah, V'zeh Melech Le'echa Behem, and so he was king of one of those families. By the way, he used to be the head king, but because he let his daughter go into prostitution, as it were, to cause the Jews to sin, he then goes down to number 5 of the list. So when he's listening, because he lost status, so that's his punishment. Okay.
To his own people or just to the Jews?
To his people.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, no, the Jews and we think they're all the same.
Right.
Well, we're not going to make a distinction like that, but the amongst the people, they saw that what he did was a disgrace. You don't prostitute your daughter. Sorry. Okay, so then what happens? So Hashem spoke to Moshe saying, Sarah to Midianim, to cause the distress, that's how they probably say it, harass the Midianites, v'hikitem otam, and kill them. So Rashi said, Soror, it's a language of command, it's a command form, to have a fight with them. Why? Because they were your distressors. They harassed you. With their conspiracy that they conspired via Paor and with the action or the matter of the daughter of the prince of Midian, their sister, Hamukah b'yom Hamukifah, who was smote on the day of the plague, al devar Peor, which is a matter of Peor. Good. So what's going on here? So they said, what was the distress? What was the conspiracy? Shefkiru benoteim, that the Midianites had allowed their daughters to prostitute themselves in order to get the Jews to err after Peor. Now, I don't know if you guys were there on Shabbos, but we explained what that was. What happened was the girls, remember it's an orgy. So the girl said, well, if you want to have sex with me, then you have to, she took out her little bal Peor from her neck, she was wearing the neck. She said, kiss us and bow down, and they wanted sex, and they said, okay, no problem. So, they gave into that, Gilead eyes. So that is what they're talking about here. And because so that's why it says, we have Moab, Lo Tziva, when it comes to Moab, it doesn't say to destroy them. Why? Here's an interesting thing. You would have thought, by the way, when it says don't destroy them, you would have said, well, it's because they were right. They were afraid, so it was logical for them to do it. Rashi says no, or the Gemara Baba Kama says no. The reason is because Ruth would come from them. So since Ruth is going to come from, if we would have wiped out Moab, we would have wiped out Ruth, which would have wiped out who? David HaMelech. So God says, it's not the time. Sorry. There's something. Now, the question is, why did Balak deserve to have Ruth, who would be the great great grandmother of David, and ultimately of the Mashiach? What was his merit? So, anybody know?
Did he help the forefathers in something?
The what?
The forefathers in something?
No.
He didn't try to go against Hashem's will.
No. He gave karbanas. Remember, he gave 7 each time. There's 21 karbanas. He gave all those, even though they're for the wrong reason. Still he showed deference to Hashem, and he gives all these karbanot because Bilam told him to, but he's doing it, and he's saying, okay, I'm giving it to Hashem. So Hashem said, in reward for that, I'm going to give you Ruth.
I thought you were going to talk about, why didn't he just take the alternative path and give a bracha and say that they don't come and destroy our land or something like that?
That would be a different thing. But no, it wasn't that. The fact that he gave all his kabbanis is the reason that the rabbis say he had the merit to have Ruth HaMoaviyah, and ultimately she would become the like I said, the great grandmother of David HaMelech, who would be the forerunner of the Mashiach. We'll have to stop here.